Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I would like to read you some of this article and just go over a point that I've brought up in a lot of these videos. A lot of people think incorrectly that right to repair is kind of like the final boss, when in reality the final boss is the destruction of the concept of ownership. You know, anytime you think that Kuj is the end, there's a Necron behind him. And I used to think that right to repair in many ways was the final frontier, when in reality the real final frontier is the erosion of property rights entirely. And I don't think it's going to be erosion of property rights where we have a gun to our heads and you don't own anything. Rather, I think it's going to be something that we decide by choice with our decisions over time. And this is an article that really seems to highlight that, because it moves it over to a sector where this behavior is quite creepy. So this is an article on Vice, and it says this motorcycle airbag vest will stop working if you miss a payment. Charging extra for safety features is nothing new, but actively disabling them for missed payments may be the future. This is a vest that you put on when you're on a motorcycle, and it has airbags around it. So the whole idea is if you get into a crash or if you fall, it inflates and saves you from, potentially horrid damage to yourself, which is a pretty cool idea. I think it's, I think this is a cool idea. I would want to have one of these if I was on the highway on a motorcycle. And it says this is an airbag vest that costs $400, and it has a subscription-based payment option that will block the vest from inflating if the payments don't go through. The customer buys the vest for $400, which comes with a module, but then they must download an app and choose how to unlock the module so the vest actually works. So you can either pay an additional $400 to own the vest for $800, or you can pay a subscription fee of $12 a month, or $120 a year. So they do give you the option there. I'll give them that credit. Now, it says when it comes to missing payments and airbag functionality, InMotion's payment notifications and 30-day grace period are reasonable. At some point, if a person stops paying for a service, that service has to be suspended, just like your utilities or cell phone plan, Eddie wrote to Motherboard an email. Further, if someone pauses their service or their subscription and forgets to restart it, they won't actually be able to get their in-inbox to ride ready status when they go to turn it on. If they then choose to ignore the indicators and ride with the in-inbox inactive, that's on them, and we can expect it to not inflate. We can expect it not to inflate in the case of a crash. So this is an airbag vest that's there to save your life, and if you miss a payment and 30 days passes, it won't work. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, so that's on you. You should have paid, you should have made the payment, you should have noticed, blah, blah, blah. For me, I would be open to a subscription-based payment for many things. A vest that is designed to save my life, no, I am going to make the choice to own that. I want that. I do not want that device to be phoning home to figure out whether or not it's going to save my life when I get in a motorcycle accident. If I choose to purchase something that's job is to save my life, I want it to always want to save my life, not phone home to check if today is the day where we're allowed to save Lewis's life. And that's just my personal preference, because I understand how stupid the world can be. An example that I brought up in a recent community post was an insurance issue that I had. For those who were wondering, the company, it was employers.com. Never use these people for your insurance. So they had an auto pay option. I had set it up, and it wasn't working. I logged back in and I realized that the auto pay option was set up with an account number that had nothing to do with any one of my accounts. It was asinine. I set it up again. I double check every single month to make sure it's working, because I'm used to them. We're going to get to the incentive structure. They have to turn this off later. And I still got a notification in the mail that my insurance policy was about to be canceled for non-payment. I'm like, what the hell is this? Well, I log into my account every 2 to 3 weeks because I expect this shit to be happening. And I realized that they changed my rates, but my insurance was auto-paying the old rate. So they changed my policy, but then the auto pay was still stuck on the old rate. So it was auto underpaying, and I was close to my insurance being lapsed. I had about 3 or 4 weeks to make full payment. I make full payment and I think that I'm good, right? I'm good. I paid my bill. No, I get something from the New York Insurance Board that says, please provide proof that you have insurance because we were told you don't. And I think, really? Well, here's the way this works. In New York City, the way this works is if you lose insurance for this particular type of insurance, the insurance company is required to report you to the city, who then fines you $2,000 to $15,000 each time this happens. Now, the reason that there is an incentive structure built in to constantly cancel your policy is that you have to pay a fee to get a new policy reinstated, and that's often more than what you were paying. So there's a built-in structure where you can make more money by canceling people's policies and forcing that. And you can also make money, obviously, off of the fact that once the person's policy is gone, there's an incentive for them to pay the increased rate to get the new policy because they have the fine from the city they got to deal with. So I then told the city, well, I have the second letter that I received from them that showcased that my policy was in effect the entire time, that I paid it on time. They sent me a notification that it would be canceled on this date, but I paid way before that date. They sent me another letter saying your policy is still in effect. I sent it to the city. The city didn't care. So I had to stay on hold with them for over 9 hours, several days in a row, which was absolute misery in order to get this problem fixed. And it's something that I don't think anybody should have to go through. It's horrible. But stupid shit like this can happen. Another example, another one of these horrible companies was they had stopped sending me a bill in the mail because I don't know, whether the mail messed up or they messed up. Not only did I never receive the cancellation notice, I never even received the bill. And this was back when a lot of these insurance companies didn't have auto pay. A lot of the New York insurance companies for this particular type of insurance actually did not have an auto pay feature back then. So I did not receive a bill, so I didn't pay the bill. So I never got a cancellation notice. And you see where this is going. There's a lot of stupidity that can happen out there in the world. Some of it my stupidity, some of it their stupidity. I've had people in my comments say, Louis, you should call them every single month to make sure that you have, I'm sure that you call every single service you're subscribed to every single month to make sure shit's okay. Get the fuck out of here. But, there's a lot of type of stupidity that can happen when it comes to subscription payments. Something goes to spam. Maybe Chase doesn't flag it as fraud last month, but flags it as fraud this month. That shit's happened before. Or a payment that went through just randomly doesn't go through, and they don't send me the text message asking if I want to confirm the charges. All sorts of stupid shit that can happen. I hit the button, I think that it's going to pay, or it doesn't, whatever happens. So for me, I would never want to own a safety device that instead of its default being protect me, its default is, let me phone home to see if we're going to protect you today. I completely understand and respect that the business owner needs to make money off of their product. I also understand and respect that they have a 30-day grace period. That's very nice. That's very Christian of them to have a 30-day grace period. But it's just my personal preference. If I am going to purchase something whose job it is to protect my life, I want to own that outright. I don't want there to be an option where it's going to check whether or not I am eligible to have my life saved today. I want that device to only be engineered to always save me. And, this may seem unreasonable or greedy, and I would pay more money for that device. I would pay hundreds of dollars more to know that no part of that device's code was ever set up in any way, shape, or form to check and figure out if Louis Rossman is registered to be saved today. If I pay for it, I want it to always save me. And it's just kind of interesting to see where things are going as time moves on to this thing where more and more companies are embracing the subscription model, the recurring revenue bundle, or the rundle, as Scott Galloway calls it, for everything that we own. It just kind of feels like that line, because this is one video I did on manipulation a long time ago where I say that the way it works is you don't get from here to here. You go from here to here, then 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 here to here. And then once you're finally over here, they go, what are you talking about? This is not very far from this, and you were willing to go over here, right? They just kind of take you a little bit, and it's one of those things where it may not seem that unreasonable because we've kind of, done that already. But for me, that line is life-saving device. No subscription service. No. I'm not subscribing for my life to be saved. I want to own that because that's if that's not important, then what is? I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are. I'll leave them in the comments down below. Again, as I've said, when I talk about right to repair, I think the real issue that we're going to be hitting at over the next 5 to 10, 15 years is not even right to repair so much as do we actually own anything anymore? That's what I think is sitting behind right to repair. That's going to wind up being way more important than right to repair because it covers so many different industries, so many different products, so many things where we used to just, one credit card swipe, write a check once, and we own it. And that's going away very slowly. And it's going to continue to go away faster and faster if we continue purchasing devices, products, and services that use these models rather than utilizing alternatives. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm curious to hear what you all think, and I will see you later. Bye now.
Is there you want to by the way, you want to go to work? Go take a job as an essential worker. Do it tomorrow. Right? You're working.
I am.
You're an essential worker. So go take a job as an essential worker.
But the people aren't hiring because of the
No, there are people
pandemic.
hiring. You can get a job as an essential worker. So now you can go to work and you can be an essential worker and you're not going to kill anyone.